Yeah.
Thank you. Finally, somebody's realizing that it doesn't say to log into your calculator.
Me either. Me too. You said.
I know. No. What is it? What does it say? Today you have a bell ringer up here. Just assuming, hey Thomas, you can do something you watch in class. Thomas. Israel, can you put out something when you walk in the class?
Oh.
No, I'm going to do that in a second. Kyla, still on my phone. Brooklyn. Tomorrow on that phone. Hey Jordan, you did do something?
Oh, not my phone.
Janaya, yo, I need you to remember when you walk into class so I don't have to pause class for this. Gary's not here. Go Keandre again today. Trent? No phone? Man, when I started calling everybody else out on their phone, you would think, oh, Mr. Kenny. No Rose again. She's the new girl who was here last Tuesday, and that was it. Alright. Other than that, it is Jasmine, but she asked to be called Rose. Okay. We got to start off the right way, and that's my apologies for not doing that. So, let's do this. Good afternoon, Caitlin. Yes, you are. Don't forget it. Good afternoon, Kyla. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you know that. Good afternoon, Tamarlin. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Thomas. Come on, say it like you believe it. All right, good. Don't forget. All right. Good afternoon, Peyton. Thank you for being aware. Good afternoon, Brooklyn. Don't forget it. Good afternoon, Ezra. Good. There we go. Good afternoon, Coda. Good. Good afternoon, Emily. Yeah. Good afternoon, Barry Lee. I almost just called you Barry. That's my bad. Barry Lee. I'm capable. There you go. Good afternoon, Addison. There we go. Taylor. Yeah. Janaya. Good. Lillian. Good. Devin. Good afternoon, Aiden. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Joey. Come on, say it like you believe it. Make me believe that you believe it. I'm capable. Come on, say it like you mean it, Joey. What are you? There we go. That's better. All right. Good afternoon, Trent. Good. Maddie. Good. Karia. There we go. Wesley, you good over there, bro? Good afternoon, Wesley. Okay, good. Ethan. Good. Jaden. Yes, sir. Anaya. Nathan. And Jordan.
I'm capable.
There we go. All right, so please do not forget, you are in fact capable of high levels of learning, of growing and getting better. I need you to understand, when I say that you are capable, I'm not saying that you're going to get it right away. That is a foolish expectation for yourself. When I say or ask you to remind yourself that you are capable of growing. And if you continue to grow, will you learn the material? Yes. You can't give up on yourself, though. You got to fight and go to the end. Hopefully you saw my email this weekend. We are not taking the test today. We're going to take the test tomorrow. If you didn't see that email, then you need to start checking your emails. Well, I sent it to you and your parents.
My mom never called me back.
Well, I'm sorry. I tried to let you know. So, here's the agenda. We are solely looking at Lesson 3 from the textbook to get better at calculating statistics, analyzing data, and using the calculator. Last Friday, what did we do the entire block? The understanding check. We spent the entire day going over the understanding check so that you could grow and learn. If I were you, because I've made the test now, you should look over that understanding check pretty heavily and the other one. There will be more on the test, but there's nothing new on the test. Actually, the only new thing, I'm still debating if I'm going to have a question where you have to create a histogram, right? That's where you have to draw the bars. It's in lesson 1 of the book. So please note, there's only 3 lessons really that we're going to have on this test. and fourth with understanding numerical versus categorical data and statistical versus non-statistical questions. But I've already mentioned that we are looking at lesson 3 in class today, and I see one student with it out. I would probably get out lesson 3. And as you work through lesson 3, can you use lessons 1 and 2 to help you? Yes, very much so. Yes, sir. I'll have to look for it, but I'll find it. I have it. Okay. Okay. Please listen. I've already mentioned, I mentioned on Friday, and if you don't remember this, you need to pay attention to this. There are 3 sections to every one of my tests. There's a short answer, there's a non-calculator portion, and there is a calculator portion to those tests. And so please understand, I'm going to have you calculating and interpreting measures of center. Now, if calculating the mean or the median is on the non-calculator portion of the test, you won't have a calculator. You have to know how to do it. But on the calculator portion of the test, can you use the calculator to identify the mean, the median, the standard deviation, all that kind of stuff? Yes. Say it again, Jordan.
Oh, or 3.1. It ends at 2.3.
I would look again inside your notebook, but I'll print out an extra copy if I can't find one on my desk, okay? But I passed it out to everybody multiple times. So, we're going to, you got to be able to calculate and interpret the measures of center. You need to determine the best measure of center for a data set. You need to calculate and interpret measures of spread, both standard deviation and IQR, and identify outliers. That's part of today. Now, I don't have 3.1 up here, but I do want to talk briefly about 3.1 as a quick reminder. All right, so flip to 3.1 really quickly. Now, I need you to hear me very clearly on this. The whole point of today is to prepare for your test tomorrow. It is a practice day at getting better at these skills. So here is what I want you to do. First things first, big picture. You are going to analyze the data. Well, I'm just talking about it in general for all these problems. You're going to analyze the data. What does that mean to analyze the data? Yeah, but there's something specific. To break down the data, to figure out the story, but we clearly have not studied it all, even though we were going to have a test today, because there are 4 things that I'm always asking you to look for. Thank you. If I ask you to analyze the data, I am looking for you to cuss the data, meaning that you are looking at the center, unusual aspects. Yes, sir. I will look for extra copies. Shape and spread. That is what we're talking about. Now, with those things, within the center, what are the measures of center that you can calculate? But we're really only focusing on mean and median. What are the unusual aspects you're going to look for? Outliers. What is the shape that we might look for? So symmetry, or symmetrical, or skewness. And then what measures of spread? Okay, does IQR go with mean or median? Hey guys, y'all need to make sure you actually study this. This is something that after 3.5 weeks, it should come off the tip of our tongue like we just know it. The IQR goes with median. What goes with mean? Look at that standard deviation formula over there. What is in that standard deviation formula? Which measure of center? Mean. Standard deviation goes with the mean. Okay? So you need to be able to look for all those things. So right here, and I'm going to come back to 3.1 in a second, don't flip to 3.2, but looking at 3.2, data were collected from 2 rival airlines measuring the difference in the stated departure times and the times the flights actually departed. The average departure time differences were recorded for each month for 1 year, and the results are given. So you are scheduling a flight for an important meeting and you must be there on time. Which airline would you schedule with? You need to be able to analyze the data in order to answer that question, right? Very much so. And so if I'm going to analyze the data, I need to look for these aspects, but I also need to do what? How should I represent this data so to make my decision easier?
Teachers, please pardon this interruption. First of all, thank you so much for working with us through this iPad distribution. It's definitely not all fun. Also, I know it's a little confusing on who we're calling, and believe me, we're confused too. So we're working through that. But if I could please get any junior with the last name A through E. I realize we've already called some of those kids, but just on the chance that they didn't hear, we're going to go juniors.
Out your shirt. It's hard to take notes that way.
We're going to work back through juniors for a little bit, so thank you.
Okay. What else should I create? Right? I've got numbers given. What should I create to help me analyze the data? Something to represent the data. What options do we have? We got dot plots.
Instagram and boxing.
Okay. Yeah, box and whisker plots are also called box plots. Okay. So those are your options. You would probably want to create those along with this. Now, don't forget, first off, dot plots, I think we can all make a dot plot, right? We're just putting dots there. So which ones should we probably spend our time today working with? Histograms, maybe, but we only have 12 data points for each. I would probably recommend box plots, especially because, hey, which one's the best for comparing data? Box and whisker plots, right? So that's something we want to consider here. Now, what I'm pointing out is you should do all these things by hand in order to answer this question. But what can you do after you do it by hand to check yourself? Put that data in the calculator and make sure that you get the same values that the calculator does. So let's run back through with 3.1 how to do this in the calculator so that you can help each other in your small groups. Now, I have some copies over here, so I'll pass those out in a second. Who needed 3.1? Jordan did. Who else? And who? Ezra needed it.
Can I get one for the future too?
No. But he needs 3.2.
Well, 3.2 is on the back of 3.1, so that means you need both. Alright, so. Let's see. Jordan, come over here and grab this. Ezra, come over here and grab this. Alright. Excuse me. I'm just trying to get papers out to my students. It's time to get going, so that means we're not talking over Mr. King, I know. Seriously, I'm loud enough that I know you can hear me. Stop talking. It's disrespectful. Pick up a calculator. You don't need to sign in. I'm going to create a new document. So what kind of page do I need to create to put my data in?
Spreadsheet.
List and spreadsheet. Make sure that you create a new page. Ronald, get your hands out of your shirt. I don't need to see your belly. Thank you, sir. So add lists and spreadsheets. Now, we're doing this with 3.1. 3.1. And I do want to remind you, what should you put at the top where it says A and B? Maria and Heidi. Joey, did you create a list and spreadsheets page?
I'm trying to remember.
Talk to your group. Ask them for help. If they can't help you, Joey, then I will help you. Joey, Aiden's literally trying to look at you to help you out. and you can't get his help because you're not even looking at him. Aiden, I appreciate you trying. So, put in Maria and put in Heidi and type in the values for each. So you need to get each of those numbers in there. Make sure that you check yourself. Guys, you don't have to be silent. If someone's struggling with something, help them out. Don't be talking about random nonsense that doesn't help anyone with this math class, but help people out if they're stuck on how to enter these values. Ain't that funny? There's this weird thing called learning that y'all need to prioritize. So get your data in there. You haven't put your data in yet, but 3.1. Joey, have you talked to anybody in your group yet to get help? Joey. I can't help you if you're not going to talk with me, bud. Hey, I like how you're marking it off to keep track and be careful with it. But there's 15 data points that you need to enter for each of them. They're right there. Once you get your data in, or work with your small group to see if you can remember how to analyze the data before I do it as a whole class discussion. Okay, just so that it's actually entered. Hit enter now. Make sure you hit enter, and now you can analyze the data. So talk with each other about how you're going to analyze that data.
Do we like
Okay, so you guys been ready? Yeah, we usually trying to figure out how to calculate those different values, like the mean, the median, and all that stuff. Not control. So it's control level. It's just menu to access the operation. What do you use? So you'll just do one variable. That's a good question.
Not me. It says number of lists. We got 2 names.
Just do one at a time instead of trying to do more than one. That's a good question, though. So see, Lillian has done her calculations, and y'all have not. Ezra, you have 2 lists there. You entered both lists. So you would just do one list at a time. Within the next 20 seconds, we're going to have a whole class discussion about doing calculations. So you need to make sure your data is in.
I thought it was
But I'm asking you to use the calculator to do the calculations for you. Go back to your list of spreadsheets. There's a single thing that does all the calculations for you.
Oh, yeah.
Should I go back and put Maria and Heidi?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, we should have our data in at this point. If you have already done the calculations, hold for a second. What's your question, Jordan?
Yeah, something messed up with her calculator. Like it said data loss.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, it deleted. So, I need y'all to pay attention to this because some of you, if you're not paying attention, will accidentally delete some of your data. Don't do that. So watch this. First things first, what button allows us to access the operations on the calculator? Menu. So once you have your data in, you're going to go to menu. And then what?
Or statistics.
You want to analyze the data. So statistics.
G, H.
Now?
Please go to the library.
Statistics. Okay. It's not you, Ezra. I just said it. It's only juniors. Okay. So, statistics and then stat calculations. One variable statistics. You're only dealing with one variable right now. Two variable goes into something completely different. Someone did ask earlier, hey, we have two lists, so can I do two lists? You can. I don't recommend it. I recommend just doing one list at a time. Okay? And so I'm going to do one list. And so what variable, so notice I can click to the right, I see Heidi and Maria. Which one should I do first?
Maria.
Now, does it really matter? No, but Maria is listed there first, so I am going to click on Maria first. Okay? It's fine as long as you keep track of it. Now, I need you to notice something, because this didn't matter before, but right here, where does it say my first result column is going to be?
B.
B. But isn't Heidi in column B?
Yes.
Column A was Maria, column B is Heidi. So I need to make the first result column C so I do not delete the information from Heidi. And notice all these calculations that I should get. So for some of y'all, it would have already said C. Alright? But if it didn't, you need to. Now I still need to do these same calculations for whom? Heidi. So what am I going to do?
Oh, go back.
So we do the same exact stuff. Menu, statistics, stat calculations, one variable.
Mine don't let me click it on.
You what?
And then make sure your first result column is to the right of your so don't let it do data loss. Hit cancel. So when you do, please note you have data in column D. So what's the next column that you should have data show up in? Data or column E. That's fine. It'll give you, so it just puts them next to each other. Yes. You're not letting us.
Oh, why upset? You don't know what I've been through.
Joey, step outside and calm yourself down.
So which one I go to?
Just do the same.
Okay.
Okay. So, I have no clue what you did. I just have to just run your calculations again and put them in column B. All right. Yeah, and then there's E. Okay. So here's what I need you to understand. You need to calculate your mean, you need to calculate your median, and all of those things by hand. And then you're going to check yourself in the calculator. So move on to 3.2. Work within your small group to calculate those different things. Create box plots for both. And I'll actually show you how to use the calculator to check your box plots as well. But do all the calculations by hand. analyze the data by hand, and then I will be moving around to help you grow and get better.
What list is
But work on 3.2 now that you've had that practice.
Yeah, I don't think we know what he did, to be honest.
Listen to me.
I saw her face as soon as he started to scream and she went, oh no.
Look, you just make it.
Just do the same thing.
I already got enough to deal with. You want hell, baby.
You going someplace.
No, what's it?
Very, very hot.
Hey y'all, I swear to God, he gonna come to school with a gun one day. Y'all keep laughing. I'm jumping straight out that window. I don't care if it's second story, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It's more good time.
Yeah, but then no, but
Oh, and go on 3
We don't know that.
I think come back and
Y'all, that's ridiculous. Because if I can hear you out there to that level, I can tell that you're cutting up instead of doing the work. Get to work. Y'all got a test tomorrow on all of this content. You should be, and this is the issue, because when I come back through and you're not talking anymore, then I know you're talking about things that you don't need to be talking about. You should have been working on identifying these different values for 3.2 by hand on 3.2. Once you finish doing it by hand, you check yourself in the calculator. Let's get to work. You can do that for standard deviation and stuff. I will say this, just do it once for standard deviation. It takes so long. Hey, really quick note, because this is a good point. Standard deviation takes a long time, right?
Yeah.
Just do standard deviation for one of the lists. Just do standard deviation for one of the lists. You should be able to do mean, median pretty quickly, the quartiles pretty quickly, the IQR pretty quickly, but the standard deviation just takes longer, right? So just do standard deviation by hand once. So just do standard deviation once by hand. Do everything else by hand, but just do one column for standard deviation by hand. So you would do mean, median, standard deviation, IQR, all that stuff for this column. But then for this column, everything but standard deviation by hand.
Wait, no, median is like increasing with time.
You need to talk with your group about how to find median. You might need to look back at lessons 1 and 2.
Oh my God, no, okay, let me fix it.
So y'all working on docs and Mr. Father now? So what do you need to do first? Not the mean and the median. You just need one of those two. I like what Ethan's doing, going back and looking at his notes. I will say this, there is one thing that describes everything you need. What are those numbers called right now? All of those together. No, but there's a name for it, I believe. No, it's in bold in the paragraph above it. Right. What do you need for a box and whisker plot? You need the 5-number summary. So that's... Have you looked at your notes at lesson 1.2? So minimum, you need a maximum, first quartile, third quartile, median. Yes, you're working on 3.2 right now.
I'm sorry, but I really gotta see if this look good.
You know we're doing 3.2.
I really had to see if it look good.
Walk through 3.1 calculator so that on 3.2, once you get done, you can do 3.2 calculator to check yourself. So you're supposed to do 3.2 right now. Okay? So you're working 3.2 we're doing all the calculations by hand. So we use 3.1 to go back to how to use the calculator. Now you need to do 3.2 by hand and then check yourself in the calculator. But remember, I also said standard deviation, only do it one of them. Standard deviation just takes too long to do multiple times. Okay? Yes? This is
You know what?
remember, this table helps me get this data point.
AJ, Jaden, you watch Deadpool? Which one?
You can use the calculator. You don't go in and do one variable statistic and saying doesn't agree. Yeah, so please, because squaring decimals.
Hey,
Good question.
you watch Deadpool?
Hey guys, good. This is a good question. When I say doing calculations by hand, when it comes to standard deviation, do you probably need a calculator to help you find the difference and do the squares and all that? Yes. I'm just saying don't use one variable statistics to do all of it all at once. Okay? But you're allowed to use a calculator. You're just not using the list in spreadsheets to do it all.
It's like I'm a red. So the minimum is 67. Q1 is 33.
What's Q1 and Q2?
But also, that says 256 to 1%. Check your summary.
What is that?
Oh, we got the min.
This is your issue right here. You see how you divided down by 12? Should have plus 33. You need parentheses around that. Divided by 12. So 21.3 repeating? Okay, is that what you got? You see how that makes a difference? Keep working with each other.
I got started 60 since the Q1. What's this the min?
Minimum and maximum are easy to identify, right? But what do you probably need to do to make it easier to identify the quartiles and the medians? I'd probably put them in order. 0, I would mark 0 off. What's next, number 5?
That's another one of the best.
Mark 5 off. What's the next biggest number? I think there's an 11 there, isn't there? Mark off 11. So put them in order, right? And then that'll make it easier to find your median quartiles, okay? Did you figure out what you need to do? Okay, so here's one thing you need to be aware of. 45 5. Isn't that one of the biggest numbers in that data set? So can that be the median of the data set? It's the middle. So what makes it easier to find the middle? You need to put them in order first. So like if you're looking at that data set, what's the smallest number there? 7? So you got a 7. Mark it off. Mark 7 off. But y'all need to be working together. Jordan, what are you even doing right now? Oh, your hair? I'm so sorry. I don't care. This is a math class. Learn your math. What's the next number? So then mark your 8 off. Right, so you see how I'm putting all those numbers in order? And then once you put them in order, it'll be easier to find your middle. Now, I will point this out. The data points are there. I believe it's 12. So the median is going to be between something. It needs to be 6 and 6. That can't be. It's got to be between. Put your numbers in order. Come on. I need y'all working together. And you didn't follow the directions about putting the numbers in order like she's taking the time to do. You cannot identify the median and the quartiles without putting those numbers in order. Calculator can, but we can't. We haven't even done it yet. First off, let's just got 3.2 right now.
So he's going to play this.
Remember, the whole point was that when we did the calculations and they calculated 3.1 so that when you did 3.2 on your own, you can check yourself.
So we're supposed to move my hand first. And then
Now, will you still need the calculator to do the average? Sure. Will you still need to use the calculator to do standard deviations? Sure. But I want you to do everything else by hand. I want you to do it all by hand so that you can see if you know how to find median and mean and standard deviation.
I know it's a back screen is going to be.
She's about what? How old?
I think you heard that. I think you heard that. What happened? Never mind.
I told you it was still like that.
You want me to?
I could already tell from my little way on it. I could tell you was going to be
Stop looking at my paper.
We gotta get going fast. We gotta get to work.
Why are you talking a car crash on my head? You guys I was playing late. I don't
How'd you figure out the median? Oh, there's 2. Well, so there's 6 and 7 because these mean 6. But what's in between? 20.
I'm not
Pick it up. It's all talking. They're all 4. You don't want to talk about it. Come on. It's just being I mean, is it a data value?
Taylor.
Right. What are you trying to do right now?
Get your cottage.
Number 1, 0 would be a minimum number.
What now?
Okay, but I will point this out. You still need to find the median and the quartiles, right? Are your numbers in order so that it's easy to identify what number separates the bottom half from the top half, so on and so forth? You need to do that.
Hey, y'all understand that zombie man up there?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm here.
Pause and listen. 2 quick things. So, some of us are working better than others. A whole bunch of us need to get to work. You have a test tomorrow, and I'm trying to help you be prepared for that test. But we have all of 50 more minutes of class left today. That's it. Listen. Hey, stop and listen. Okay? No, sir, I need you to listen first. No, sir, put your hand down and listen. Stop. Have you talked to your group once yet? I will help you once you talk to your group first. So, we're on activity 3.2. Please remember to do the median and the quartiles, minimum and maximum. By the way, when I put all of those things together, what's that called?
5-number summary.
That's the 5-number summary. And what do you need the 5-number summary for? Box plots, right? Box and whisker plots. And IQR, because you need the quartiles. But in order to identify the median and the quartiles easily, what do you need to do to your data set? You need to put your data set in order to identify the quartiles. Okay? So make sure your data is in order from least to greatest if you're working on the quartiles and the median. Now you can continue to work on mean and standard deviation without that, but when you get to the other stuff, you need to put it in order. So what'd y'all go with for your... You forgot a number. That's only 10. There's 12 numbers, dude. So you got to count them both, right? So 0s and 5, 11, 15, 19, 20, 26, 33, 34, 40. Notice how you forgot the second 20 and the second 33. That's forgetting early. Stop arguing about the 20, 26. I think it's 2 33s after 26. And then 34. Now identify your median. Come on. We gotta get to work. Wesley, you ever put those numbers in order yet? Wesley, you gotta pick up that song. Put those numbers in order. I'm telling you exactly what you gotta do. You're not doing it. These 3 lessons, mean and median, IQR, deviation, history, not plots, and then analytics, and categorical awareness, and
Here I had professional. And here I had a professional. No, outside the walls here I had here.
So that would have happened outside of the
Well, no, I would have said.
No, that's just I don't think he got to. Yeah.
Why you lying?
My hair on 0.5%.
Where do I do that?
So what did y'all say your median is?
You got 24 for a median.
Listen, how many data points are there? So the bottom half will be how many? If you have 12 data points, the bottom half would have how many data points?
I find him.
Right, which is half. But how many is half of 12? 6. So there needs to be 6 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's between 20 and 20. What's between 20 and 20? Between 20 and 20?
Tyler Perry. over 50.
Right? If it's the same number, it's just that 20.
I like on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
A YouTuber I like to watch.
How could you check yourself?
Sometimes with that.
Yeah.
Not much.
At this point, is Gabe, and we need lists and spreadsheets. So go ahead and do the calculations and check your answer. Okay? Because the standard deviation is the hardest part.
Yeah, but just putting them in order.
Well, it should be because 20
Yeah. But you still haven't finished doing standard deviation by hand. You can do that by hand first. As you're working. Good. So don't forget, just do that one standard deviation by hand and start working on all the other measures by hand before calculating it.
So like I talked before, right? And you want to be on the phone, but
I would assume that this part right here is something to get. So what I would recommend is.
no, he said got told him not to
Start here. And then we're going to do that sum, right? Divide it.
I don't know.
Do that. It's not bar.
Yes, and
So now we need what's right between 24 and 27. So what we actually do is so that's 25 now. It's weird, like when I asked her, you never asked her math when
I told him if
then you literally all the calculations done, I'll let you go. Now here, so that's not the mean. So the first one we got was 20. So the mean is the sum divided by number. So the quartiles are well, so numbers are quartiles are the medians of each chapter, right? So how many data points are in the bottom? So how many would I try to get if I split that in half? So your quartiles.
But why you have to left on your head?
Yeah. She need to look at that formula. You see it over and also, it's not 12, because I have minus 1 to be 11, and you need the square root of all that. Yeah, check it in your calculator once Y'all need to check in with Aiden. He, I don't know if his answer's right, he was supposed to check it, but he at least did the process right. Y'all need to check in with him. I need to go check on other groups. Okay. So where's your square root? Remember, it needs to be over the whole thing. See how my square root starts at the bottom and goes all the way over? There you go. Did you get the same answer? No, let's scroll up. The standard deviation is up here. 12.36. Is that what you got? So let's see. So my guess is you probably just made a small mistake. So what was the mistake that you got? 21.3 repeating or Oh, I know. Well, one of the issues.
Don't make it no better.
So we gotta make sure we're careful. So 4.7 is 6.1. So one thing is the value minus the fees. That should have 40 minus the
I can't get everybody for real. Nope, it happened. Where you from?
It looks like
He just not doing it right.
probably just around here. So it feels like a lot of everything here, but so part of the issue is when it wasn't so that might be part of the problem. That's only the healthy check. That's the issue.
So he lives outside. 30 minutes.
Oh, my next question is, did you actually put everything in?
What's the point of the first floor?
That's what the,
What I'm doing, I'm
Compared to the first one, the second one way bigger.
alright, so my guess is it's just rounding error.
Well, I'm doing Q1 53 versus me.
See, she did get 1230.
I don't know what Q1 or Q3.
So he rounded the. I can't find where the symbol was.
Hey, you chill out, chill out.
Oh, I found it. I wasn't paying attention. Dude, what's 0 minus the average of 21.3? Right?
No, 5.
That's all it was. I was like, there had to be a small mistake somewhere. Now, here's the thing. This is what you need to be aware of. On the test, I need to see this work so that I can realize that's just a small error, like percent error. You can still score a plus on the test with this level. Does that make sense? So that's a very high score because all you did is you made a small mistake.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Never. What's the difference between apple? That makes a big difference. Never see. So I'm going to take this, and that, divide that by 11. And, that's what it is. One small mistake, but did you have the right idea the whole way through? Yes. So that's why you would be okay on the test.
Why you lying? Yeah, wait, most of the time. Why you lying?
2.
Hey guys, let's focus on finding those
None of y'all got a what?
quartile and helping each other grow and learn and stop bickering. Let's get to work.
Who got a watch over there? Anybody got a watch over there?
18.7 squared is about 349 squared. Now, you don't have to do that where you put the whole thing in. Remember, you already found the difference. You could have just done the 18.7.
248.
No,
214.
That's all from doing all these differences.
240.
By the way, you know I said only deviation by units, right? Yeah. This is doing standard deviation by hand. You're not just putting it all in the calculator. So you don't have to do it for the second.
No, wait, no.
So you do a standard deviation for my error lines, right? Okay. Don't do the other. Fine.
Definitely.
Right. So either I'm asking you to do the core top. I'm only asking you to do standard deviation by hand.
School days.
Do everything else after.
You always say,
You gotta write.
Nobody got suspended. Person somebody. But now I know.
You got your average.
Now you're standing on the make you laugh. You watch basic,
First quartile, median,
speak over you. He can make
all those things that you needed. Well, you're checking yourself in the calculator. But remember, don't do the second standard deviation by hand. You're just doing that by hand.
You got four.
Well, no. You have to put in the second set of data.
Why did it say that?
So you got your 2 sets of data, right? Okay. Is this for the first set of data right here? I think so, because it matches, right? So let's do second set. So this would be so there's the first.
Hey, look, bro. I will give you my
Oh no, that is the. I meant to do the second set. Sorry.
Since I'm getting upset. Go over there. I know you go find your way. Cameron.
Hey, what group are you in, Jason? But nothing. You're in this group.
Mr. Kenny, so we gotta create
Remember, you only have to do one standard deviation.
And then I'm gonna find out both of these. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why. I don't know the other is. I don't have to make a table, but see, it would turn out. Yeah.
It'll still be positive.
He don't know.
Because when you square negative, right, it's a negative. You got your median and quartile and all those things. All you done is standard deviation, right? 20. 4.7 squared is not 12.